Hello, it's the Curious Lo. Long time no see. I am back with another review today. Today I'm going to be starting a brand new series called Disney Reviews from the Vault. Now basically I'm just going to be reviewing older Disney movies, live action or animated, TV, theater, straight to DVD, straight to video. If Disney has had any sort of involvement in it, there is a chance that you will see it on this show. Everybody got it? Good. On November 7th, 1999, Disney's version of the musical Annie premiered on Walt Disney's The Wonderful World of Disney on ABC. Now the set and costumes are both way better than you would expect from a TV film, but since it's no longer around, some of you might not really know kind of what The Wonderful World of Disney was about. Now The Wonderful World of Disney was this like Sunday night block where they would air Disney movies for the most part. And about like once a month, once every other month, just kind of depending on, they would premiere a movie. Like first time, if this would be its premiere, it would premiere on The Wonderful World of Disney. And I remember that these were big deal movies. I mean, we have Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, which is one that I will definitely be reviewing because it's one of my favorite musicals of all time, and it's one of my favorite adaptations of a musical of all time. But yeah, they had big budget for some reason for these movies that premiered here, so they did a really great job of, the costumes are all darling, the sets are really great. It's a very pretty movie for sure. Annie was the directorial debut of Rob Marshall, who you've probably heard of for his work with Chicago, Memoirs of a Geisha, and most recently Disney's Into the Woods. Now as some of you already know, I am a dancer and always look out for amazing choreography. Now Rob Marshall has done choreography on movies before this one and as well as the movies that he's done after this, so I am a huge fan of his choreography. I think he does a great job of creating choreography that looks like it's from Broadway and uses the space, as opposed to other directors who sometimes do musicals where they'll completely transform it and make it this like kind of zippy, almost music video feel, which is fine, but this is definitely closer to kind of the Broadway style choreography, and I love that. This version of the beloved Broadway classic will do exactly what most movies that premiered on The Wonderful World of Disney did, and have a completely just all-star cast. Victor Garber as Oliver Warbucks and Kathy Bates as Miss Hannigan are two prime examples of this. They both do amazing jobs in their roles. They don't necessarily bring anything new that we haven't seen in the previous Annie movie or on stage, but they both have awesome voices, kind of make the roles their own a little bit while still keeping them classic feeling so as not to maybe rattle any feathers. Kristen Chenoweth is probably the best example of this. I would say she's the best cast person from this movie. She embodies Lily St. Regis so well, which is almost a shame because they kind of changed Lily St. Regis' role a little bit so that she doesn't become one of the kind of fake parents to pick up Annie at the end, and it's actually Miss Hannigan, which is another change that they brought to the movie. They take Miss Hannigan from the previous movie. She kind of has a change of heart and tries to save Annie at the end, but in this version, she's just evil through and through and ends up going to the nut house at the end, which is a different change. Fine, it either works very well. I think both characterizations of Miss Hannigan were portrayed fairly well, so that worked out for them. People who maybe grew up around the 90s will definitely recognize Lelaine of Lizzie McGuire fame as one of the orphans, as well as Sarah Hyland, who is now known for her role on Modern Family as kind of the second most important orphan, Molly. Now last but not least, Alicia Morton is our beloved singing redhead little orphan Annie, and she does a great job. There's a couple times during the movie where she maybe struggles with some of the more serious parts, like crying and stuff like that, but she has an amazing voice. She had come from Broadway, and you can tell just by listening to her sing that she really understands kind of vocals and does a really great job with that. She really connected well with Victor Garber, I thought, really bringing that relationship of Oliver Warbucks and Annie to life, especially in I Don't Need Anything But You, which is admittedly a very happy song, so it's easy for her when she struggled with some of the sadder things. But she, you know, she's a child actor. It was passable for sure. It wasn't cringeworthy or anything, definitely TV movie standard. She did a really great job. Overall, Annie, I think, is a really enjoyable time. I think it might have been better for me as a child, and now going back to watch it as an adult, it doesn't hold up quite as well, but I definitely would never say, like, don't watch it. If you're a fan of Annie, I think you will really like this version. Personally, I think it's closest to the Broadway version of the show. None of the 3 movies that have premiered, including the one that just premiered this last month in December of 2014, none of the 3 versions of Annie have really ever really gotten the musical. So there's always going to be little nitpicks and changes that they've had to make for whatever reason. I don't know why anybody doesn't just do like a straight adaptation, but I would say that this is the closest to the musical. I think it captures the heart of the musical the best. This personally has my favorite Annie. As much as I loved the older version, she overacted a lot for me, so Alicia Morton I think really brought Annie to life for me, even with her pitfalls with some of the more serious aspects of it. I would rather see something that maybe isn't quite as believable with some of the crying, especially since it's such a happy musical for the most part. It's easy to let that slide than to have kind of the overacting that I saw from the older version. And I'm just not even gonna really delve into the 2014 version, because while it tried to do something really cool, it kind of failed miserably. But yeah, I would say this is definitely the best version of Annie, and I'm going to give the 1999 Wonderful World of Disney version of Annie 4 out of 5 Mickey ears.